Not bang bang with a cash hat.
What up, though?
So, you sitting here, standing man on the camera. Got Josh here narrating.
Blessings.
Me, LC. We got the homies here. I know both of y'all from 2 different eras in my life. So,
Right.
I'm going to just let y'all introduce yourself, man. Y'all, who want to start?
I'm K.O.J.I. Yeah. I'm K.O.J.I.
Going with the K.O.J.I, not just the K.O.J.I.
I mean, you know.
You know. I like that K.O.J.I.
They know
cool.
Dream, they know all type of different, but
I know different.
yeah, so but I mean, how much you want me to give you? Like, I'm K.O.J.I. I'm from this place. I'm from
You gotta keep it organic. If you want to explain what K.O.J.I is, like, you can explain, but if you choose
organic
say
was I'm K.O.J.I.
Right. Hey man, I feel like I can go down a few avenues if I start talking about me, but
got gas in the car. The avenue above your crew.
Yeah, I can go down a few avenues, boy. But cause man, this thing start way back from a long time when he just started talking about eras.
Right.
Shit, eras start from the Lil Chris era. Shit,
I wasn't gonna say
you see what I'm saying? It ain't even Lil Chris no more, man. But
we grown, man.
That's the name he used when I was like, yeah, I know. He was like, yo, Lil Chris. I don't know.
Everybody knew
right.
that we been around each other for a long time from high school. Everybody know the Lil Chris era.
Like, I think his name is Chris, but I don't know. Lil Chris. I ain't heard that one.
Lil Chris era.
Lil
Chris, eras and avenues.
Yeah.
Eras and avenues. I know
Chris. So
that's tough.
Yeah, the Lil Chris to better known now is Dolo OG. You know what I mean? So it's some ways of that.
I know this man from the days of the Black Taurus.
Man, I was just conversating about that tour about a few weeks ago.
Wait, it's still in.
You had the round body tours?
Yeah.
98 model?
Yeah. I had that 99.
Oh man.
Blacked out.
Yeah.
Black on black.
Black on black.
That's the way to do it.
Black and cream.
That's the way to
Everybody
do
it.
That's the way it been. Yeah. Them been the days, bro.
So how did y'all two ended up clicking up? I see y'all got the standing on the pink shirts.
Yeah.
I know that's the movement y'all got. How did y'all two ended up getting to this point here?
Well, we met each other through football. I played a year with the Bulls, and it was like an island affair. Like, all the DBs were like from either James Island or Johns Island. So
Trojan.
yeah, that's how we met initially. And what we got going on, it was just a natural progression of things. You know what I mean?
From that.
I think I sent him. Somehow we got to talking, and then he let me know that he made music in the past, and y'all know I make music and stuff. So I didn't have an idea. I just knew him from the field, and from what I heard, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna get him on something. You know what I mean? He said he don't do it no more, or whatever, but I ended up sending him a song. We did the song, and then just keeping that alive, that communication, standing in the paint came about.
That's what's up. So we talk about the music.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a track together. Let's tell the people about the track, man. What you?
I answered the last one. I'm gonna let you open up, and then I'll fill in. Talk about it from your perspective.
All right, let's talk about the track. Like K.O.J.I said, man, shit. It all started mainly because of him and his music. And that's, I think, how we got on the topic, because you was running some film, getting ready to do a shoot or something like that. And you shot out the invitation. And I wasn't able to make it, but it came out. And I watched the video.
The foreign exchange days.
And then I was like, dang. I was like, dang, Brian, I ain't know you rolling like that. Boop de boop.
Right. That is true.
And,
that is true.
he was like, yeah, and I'm like, man, shit, it wasn't a big deal to me, but I'm like, yeah, be due to some pride guys that, we went to school with, and that was them boy thing. But I was engaged with them, so it was just like, I like music, you know what I mean? But my main deal, like I told you from the beginning, was really that I like to write.
Right.
And me writing, I like to write poetry, so all of that was just tying in the music, that I like music
like
and
the
poetry, so it just came together naturally.
Right.
So when you was like, yeah, let me hear something, so I'm like, man, I did a little 12-round track, a little thing for myself or whatever like that, and that's actually when I came out with Dolo at that time, and so we met, going forward with that. K.O.J.I introduced me to the track. And I told him, like, if it moved me, I'll get on it.
Yeah, that was his biggest thing.
I said, I'm really not really a big rapper like that.
He was
really
not hearing he wasn't hearing, like, but from what I heard, and you know what it was? It was a beat, like way back in the SoundClick era. Like
it was one of those.
Track Slammers beat or something like that.
That's what moved you in a sense, like.
Let's put it like this, I'm very soulful. So if it's soulful to me and it makes me move, then I'll get on it. I don't even got to rap on it. I would just write to it.
It's a natural reaction.
So, yeah, so being that, I said, like, just shoot it to me and let me see what's up. So we sat in the yard one day just chilling, talking about it. He said, I'll shoot you the email. Got the email. And I just sat on the floor, I sat on the floor, played it. And I said, man, let me just play it a few more times. So it grabbed me and I was like, all right, cool, I'm ready. So I put something together, me thinking like, I'm just thinking nothing to it for real. Like I said, it was never really my role to be a rapper or anything like that. It was just something with music, man, it moved me. So I was like, all right, cool, man, I'll get on it. And, we just moved from there.
Yeah, and I'm glad that it worked out that way because I had taken all of that in. Like, I knew it had to be something that was worthwhile to him. And I don't know what it was. Like I said, when I heard him on his songs that he did, I'm the type of person, like, if you're around me and you got talent, it may be annoying, but I'm like, I got to do something with you. You know what I mean? Because that just strengthens relationships, you know what I mean? It keeps things going. But the song had actually already been done.
I'm about to say, I was just about to go on there.
Yeah, like, it was already done.
Like, probably, 3 years now?
Yeah.
Mind you, that song.
No, but I mean, like before I even.
Oh no, yeah.
Before I even sent it to you,
cleaned the track.
It was just me on it, and then like I was like,
yeah, he cleaned the track.
I was like, no, like, this is the one. From what I heard on his voice, I was like, this is the one.
He was listening to something. He showed it to me. But
yeah,
he
so I
cleaned the track.
opened the space up for him and sent it to him, and hey, 1 for 1, it worked out.
And mind you, like I said, dog, like we did that song like 2-3 years ago.
3 years ago now, yeah.
And like I said, it was just something that, we both got jailed too, and say we was like, all right, put it on. Boom boom.
Yeah, that's the
years go by. And here we are, you know what I'm saying? He putting it out, put it on the platform, just do, and and people like, yeah, like where this come from?
Right.
And he hitting me like, hey, bro. This thing moving, and I'm not thinking about it for real, because really, at the end of the day, I'm really feel like I'm supporting him and giving him, showing him love and what he loved to do. Hey, bro, I'm here to, so, yeah, it was.
I'm just thinking about your transition. Like, how is it the transition from poetry to like just putting it down in the booth? Like from writing to like, you also writing, but it's more so using your voice now.
Yeah.
What a beat.
I would say, man, just like I said, just being around, pride guys that are around, man, homeboys that had the same passion that, I seen in him. And being that they had the passion, like them boys were consistent. But like I said, it was never really my dream to really rap, but being around them, around guys that had passion for something, I had grew the passion to really, at the end of the day, really have a voice. It was just more so the voice more than just being a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's, like, not saying I wouldn't take poetry and sit on the stage and read it, but some voices get heard different ways, and I was like, hey, let me just see how it work out. So I tried it.
Some of the greatest influential rappers are poets.
Oh yeah. So
Rapping is poetry.
It's power to poetry.
Yeah.
That's why.
Like that's all it is.
There's a lot
Like
of power to poetry.
yeah.
It's critical thinking with a flow.
yeah.
And that's beautiful. Calm somebody down with teaching.
Right.
If I am mistaken, y'all remind me. But the time we end this thing, I got something. I think I sent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I was overseas at the time, and a little smidge that I sent you like
Oh
a few weeks ago.
yeah.
I'll read it. At the end of just to
Give you a little sample.
just to give you a little sample, a
Yeah.
little insight. I ain't gonna say I the coolest dude, but I think it'll move some feelings a little bit. But this been years ago. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like around like 2014.
That's how
or
you
something.
know it's good. It's timeless.
You know? I
know?
went back and read it, and I was like, Coach, tell me what you think about this. And honestly, bro, I've never written anything just for somebody to read or just to give it to. It was always for my own sake. So for me to say it with him, I was just telling him so he would know, like, bro, just so you think I ain't playing, like, I would really write to myself, read it, and be chilling, you know? But I said, dog, I think he was like, he really is like, I ain't even think might let my mama read that thing. So when I sent it to him, it was like, bro, read this, tell me what you think.
Right.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that because I do a lot of that. I do a lot of that myself, so trust me, I know.
Yeah.
It's hard to bring
Yeah.
somebody else in.
Yeah.
Because that's personal to you.
Yeah.
That's some personal shit. Yeah, you can look at me like that. Sometimes it's hard to do that, to hand it to the next man and be like, hey, critique this. It's personal.
Right.
You know, it's personal. That's how we got to the vote. Remember that?
Right there.
That's how we got to the
So my thing with that, if y'all don't mind me say something right quick, my thing with that was, like I said, during the time I was overseas, it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got people that you in cahoots with, but at the end of the day, it's just you.
Mm-hmm.
So, most of the time they say you got to find an outlet, and the gym was nothing, all that kind of stuff was easy. I did all the physical my whole life.
Right.
Football, sports, this, that, and the football, all that stuff was nothing to me, but it was just something there that I couldn't release.
Right,
The only way I
right.
could release it, I had to find a way to release, and that was writing. So I only say that to say this is, we come up, from K.O.J.I to a grown man and never know how to be vulnerable. And I think that's a true thing in a man that don't know how to express himself. And I didn't really know how to. And then writing was the only way I could express myself until I knew how to really talk in front of people or to somebody else to, express and explain to them how it's important to release that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it really came from.
And that's why I kind of looked at you like that, because you got me thinking that's exactly why I started writing and making music. I just started writing out, was going through a lot at that time, and it was exactly what he's saying. Like, playing football wasn't doing it, running the streets wasn't doing it, like nothing was doing it. So I just followed, something told me to just pick up a pad and write. And at that time, I remember my teachers, Miss Moss and everybody telling me like, boy, if you really focus, you got a gift, just remembering all that. So at that moment, it felt like, oh, this is what I'm really supposed to be doing. Like, keep in mind, I'm in college now. Like, I'm supposed to be working out, getting these meetings. Like, and I'm just like writing, listening to Nas and AZ. Like it just took me over. And exactly what you're saying, it's like therapy. And
It definitely is.
that's why it's kind of, it's taken so long in a way, because there's a lot of parts of being, like, I don't even feel comfortable going to people and being like, oh, I rap. They just, like, because I really don't just rap. Like, this shit is like life or death for me. Like, if I don't, it's only a moment of time, like, that I can go without getting in here and just putting it all on paper and hearing myself and doing that. Now, whether I put it all out, that's another story. But exactly what he's saying, man, like, for real, it's therapeutic. I wouldn't see why anybody wouldn't at least develop the skill, especially understanding how powerful words are. You could write yourself into the reality that you want, literally.
That's how I feel about poetry.
Right.
And writing in itself, not just poetry, but the form of writing. That's why I look at it as both of y'all have an extraordinary gift. To be able to write, but to be able to process your thought on paper and express it, and other people can indulge in it and learn from it. That's an art and that's a gift.
Yeah. And that's the stage I'm at right now. Like, I've been doing this for years for myself, and it's like I want to see where it's supposed to be. Like, who's supposed to be the crowd that gravitate towards it, you know, like I want to see who,
Yeah.
like, you know,
That
who,
part.
what are they really gonna come, you know, them stories and artists be like, man, they came up and said, man, that song you wrote really saved my life. Like, I just want to see, I want to see
that
if
part.
this is real or not,
Yeah.
because something takes over and like makes me do this. So it's like, what is this all for? You know, so that's the stage that we at now, the sharing and, you know.
It's real,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
the forefront is, you know, where it's gonna really be at. Somebody who ain't gonna be prideful or, you know, shameful to walk up and say, hey, bro, like, I appreciate that.
Right.
Because that right there helped me through this or whatever the case may be. But we can get people to just, you know, get out their element a little bit and remove themselves from the pride and feel like they being less of this or less of that because they have seen to walk up and tell a man, hey, bro, I appreciate you for making me feel this way. Ain't even on that type of level, but like you make me feel this way through this music.
Right,
It made me to this level. It got me to this level, you know, or whatever you wrote and I heard it, it got me here because I've been here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot with this thing, man.
So let me build on that. We build on that.
Likewise.
So speaking on what you were just speaking on, what's one thing that you can say keeps someone from saying it, that keeps them in that box to say, oh yeah, I'd rather just internalize that feeling than express it to you? What's one thing that makes you feel, one thing that you feel like that could be the reason why people don't do that?
I think I don't I don't like to get too far into trying to find the right words to a question. But to me, honestly, is right there in front of us. The first thing is we always think about the next person. And that's, to me, that's just my opinion.
Right.
Why we feel like we don't step out our own box, or why we feel like, because the first thing, K.O.J.I come to me with a question, and I just use the same question. You just asked me, oh, why you feel like blah, 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 blah. You know, we'll go around and find the excuse versus go and get what the fact is. The fact is, we need to think about how the next person feel about what we doing. You know, especially as men, and we all men in here, especially as men, we get into that box like, oh shit, well, I a grown man. I ain't about to go talk to no grown man on that level. How you mean? How you mean? Like let's be 100 about it. Everybody will say they 100. Everybody won't say they this and that, but
We gotta
the real
redefine it.
means of it, bro, is you can't think about how somebody else gonna feel when it's you. You the one dealing with what you dealing with and trying to find a way out of what you got. You know what I'm saying? So you can't think. I can't automatically say, well, if I do this, K.O.J.I gonna feel this type of way about me. You know?
These are my questions.
I gotta go to him and be 100. That's back to my poem. In a million years after over what? Shit, 10 years or so, like, bro, I've never let nobody read nothing. But I came out of my box just to say I got somebody I feel comfortable with who gonna read, and either he criticize it or not, I want to hear it. So, cool, just tell me what you think.
Right. I think it's just all conditioning. Like, you know what I mean? We've been conditioned to treat each other that way, like to be more competitive rather than cooperative, you know? When we hear things like they take a village to raise a child and all that, but that's just not the village and the child. Like, we forget about all the people in play. Like, we got to understand that you should want to see somebody doing something. You should want to see somebody being successful at it. And by you supporting them or being happy for them, it doesn't necessarily mean that you missed out or there's no space for you.
Right.
I think that because we're all in a mode of hunger for more, like everybody's trying to get it, we lost sight of how this shit really worked. You know what I mean? It worked with togetherness. Like, if you cut hair and you're a good writer and you're a good writer and I can make beats and we talk to each other daily, like, we owe it to the village, each other, to like do something with it, because you never know what it could be. You know what I mean? Like, doing a song, sending it to him sending me his songs, like he said, exposing it, like, it led to this. You know what I mean? It led to this. So Yeah, we just got to get back to like looking out for one another. You know what I mean? And understanding there's enough space for everybody.
That part.
Right.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's
Yeah.
easy to say that, but
Yeah.
As both artists, how do y'all feel the empowerment of having a voice to say what y'all have to say or how y'all say it?
like I said, it's like, I'll put it to you this way, like football was like my first dream, right? But then when I got to certain levels of it and I realized like, well, this shit's a business, number one. And it's just some setups and situations that I'm not really, I'm not gonna go through changing myself to get to that level because it's only gonna get worse. When I started writing and making music, I realized that it was something that could never be taken away from me. And even through fighting ageism and all of that, because again, another thing we gotta change in our culture is the ageism thing, or like, nigga 30 or nigga 40, and then they want, oh, you old. Like, no, not really.
Right.
Like, if the words don't matter.
Yeah,
Right.
and being in what a culture is, in my opinion, we need more older people out here doing things because they're doing these things with wisdom attached to it.
Yes, sir.
And all of us are always trying to get somewhere. We need to make deals with people that are outside of our culture that really don't care about or understand us, so they have us doing dumb things. Younger people are more susceptible to that. You know what I mean? Like if we go through and find out things about ourselves, go to school, fail, get a trade, succeed, whatever it is for you, find that out. And if you really are meant to be doing things and for the culture, rapping, singing, you'll find time to still do that. Right now, a lot of people are looking at things as just like a hustle.
What's
know?
the reason?
Right. I don't even know if I answered your question. Have you?
You did answer it.
You start floating. I know how that joke can be, man.
Right.
I might need you to repeat that.
No, we good.
Yeah, because I started
that
flowing with
K.O.J.I.
K.O.J.,
That was the dynamic of the
yeah.
question. Like,
Yeah.
at what point did you, like, your voice, like, when
Right,
did you
right, the
realize you
voice.
have a voice? Not just an artist, but, you know, even what you, like, you talked about how you are with poetry, like, when did you realize your voice can move and change? It can make a difference.
But I'm not.
You can phone a friend if you need to. You can phone a friend if you need to.
You want the floor, LC? You want the floor? You want the floor, man?
I was partly
You can
there
vouch
during
for
that
that?
time period, but I'm not going.
First off, I really hate to say this, man, because I had
true.
people just tell me, don't downgrade it. But K.O.J. one of them. But I don't want to say I'm an artist. But me first having a voice, I would say Little League football. But I didn't know then. I didn't recognize then.
Right.
It didn't get real until maybe right out of high school or such. You know how that thing can go where everybody's asking you your plans and who's going to school, and everybody is this one and that one with the best grades and most likely to succeed and all the whoop-de-whoop. And you sitting in the background like, damn, for real, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And it didn't get real until, and I really hate to bring the subject up a little bit, but my mom had got sick and she had to stop working and all this, that, and forth. And me being the oldest child at the time, well, not say at the time, but me being the oldest son, it ain't no fun in the park. You got to get with the, So my stepdad at the time working 2 jobs already, and I'm looking at this, the whole dynamic of it, and it's real. Everything that, all the documentaries and stuff like that we watch, and thinking about, oh dang, these guys talking about where they came from to where they at now, and from all the parents who working 2 jobs and all this rigmarole, right? And I think my voice really just came again, I'm just floating here, so I'm going back to where it all, it didn't get real until I started putting my pen to the paper. That was my voice to myself, and
It's real.
I wasn't looking for I wasn't looking for no validation. I wasn't looking for no pats on the back. I wasn't pushing it for nobody to hear. But once I understood for myself that I can write it and read it and I can feel it, that was my voice. And that's how everything that I was going through at that certain age, some people go through it earlier than others or whatever, but during that time where you feel like you not really even a teenager and you had to really jump into adulthood quick, that was my voice, right? Like everything that was going on pushed me to have my own voice for myself. And it ain't really, and just until now, shit, I'm 33 until now. I mean, you hear people talk to you and tell you, and I just use them for an example. They say, man, bro, hey, why don't you? You should, you blah. And I'm like, it didn't faze me to have somebody else to hear me to say, oh, they think this way about what I write or whatever. As long as I kind of felt it within myself, I felt like that was my voice, especially to move forward in life. You know what I mean? So, not probably the answer most people will want to hear, but for me, it was that was my voice.
It's an answer a lot of people would relate to and understand.
Yeah, that was my voice, bro.
Ain't no wrong answer. It's a real answer.
Absolutely. You talked about being overseas and having that being that you developing that voice and having to have would you say that's one of the biggest impacts that you had while you was overseas?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Being said, because home is home, dog. Like, me personally, I feel like home can cripple you. You don't really see life until you leave home. And I didn't get my best experience until I left home. While I was here, you felt ground. You felt like you boxed in. You can't go about this way or that way. You touched on it earlier. Most of your fellow mates, them boy don't want to see you do much. As soon as you feel like you get ready to touch something great, them boy want to shoot you down, whatever. But I felt like me being overseas really enhanced it because I ran into OGs that them boy love me unconditionally and not even know me and just been strangers, put me under their wings. Like when I say this junk is real, it's real. Them boy don't know me from Adam. But as soon as I pull up, them boy, young blood, you good? Yeah, just trying to get straight, just trying to figure out, whoop-de-whoop, man, you good, come on. Like, actually giving me life gems, stuff that you look for with the people that's next to you that you grew up with.
Right.
They feed you the bull crap, you know what I mean? I don't know why that is. I don't know. It's like, shit, I ain't about this far, so I don't want you to get so far ahead of me type thing. That's how I look at it. Because me, it's like, if I got a little whoop-de-whoop coming under me, bro, I'm giving you everything. Like, I'm putting it down. Everything that I've been searching for when I've been younger, it's like, hey, questions here, questions there. What's up? Why this? I got it to an extent, but it was not. It didn't fulfill me like I wanted to until I got overseas to where, I had open arms and open hands to all the OGs, man. And I never really hanged around the cats that was on my age on the ship like that because we didn't jail. They was just on a whole nother beat. The beat of the drum I was on the OG drum. Them boys, they been on, you know what I mean? So to that, yeah, the experience overseas really enhanced that. Yeah.
Dolo always had a whole soul, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's what's needed out here, though. It's really what's needed,
It's needed, but who's really taking heed to it?
I think, man, the bottom gotta fall out, and I think the bottom just about fell out. I talk to a lot of people, and it seemed like people are ready for a change. You know what I mean? You don't think so?
I don't know.
I mean, you'll never know if there's no outlets. Like what we're doing now is a good thing. You know what I mean? What we're doing with Standing in the Pain is a good thing. Putting out music of a certain standard is a good thing. But going back to that age thing, if most of the people with the knowledge and stuff are saying, oh, it's my time to fall back, it leaves the younger generation to kind of just go or continue the bad example. But yeah.
No, go ahead.
I mean, no, that was just to close out that question.
Like I know when you speak on that, you're speaking on it from not just a musical standpoint. You're speaking on it from a life standpoint, right?
Yeah, and that's one thing when you first started, you was like, I don't really want to say I'm an artist, right? Artists don't imply rapper. Like you are an artist at life. You know what I mean? Like you need to be an artist to really, do something with this life. You know what I mean? You really do. Like we're all artists. If you write blogs or journal or whatever, that's a form of art. Yeah. Poetry is art. The way we gotta get up and decide how we gonna deal with these little things that come our way, that's artistry. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's life. You know what I mean? Because like I said, everybody has a certain gift or talent. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like if it's 6 of us in this room and me and him is the only one that has the courage to say, this is what I can do, y'all, and develop it, while everybody else just sit around and critique it or try to bring it down. Now you're not realizing that you had the one piece, you had one piece, and you had one piece. Like your ecosystem be around you. Yeah. And that's what Dolo was saying. He couldn't really find it in the ecosystem around him. And I don't think that's something that we should just have to accept. You know what I mean?
It's the purpose of having an old soul.
Right.
To be honest. You feel different because times is different, but you feel like you witness things differently because you have a different insight.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to have an old soul.
Yeah, I think so.
You see a lot of things and you're comfortable in a lot of uncomfortable situations, therefore you have the mindset.
Right. Since he shot it down so hard, the idea was like...
What's the idea, man? Maybe I might can help out.
Because I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I don't play Madden no more, none of that. Used to.
Yeah.
But the new one is about to come out. Mm-hmm. So we were like, go get the madness out now. Mm-hmm. Practice when you can. Mm-hmm. Fill it up. Mm-hmm. This the Super Bowl, right? Because, we got it's a network, bro. We got a gaming area. Stan shout out to Stan, too, because he killed, consistency, bro. I go to sleep, he live. I go, consistency. But, so leave it on the sticks. That was supposed to be our little section of it.
Your youth.
You know how they got, street brawls and stuff? You settle that? Leave it on the sticks. And it start with y'all, too.
Shit, man.
But the time between the new Madden coming out and the one that's out right now,
20 years ago. You
get your practice on. It's going to be like the Super Bowl, baby. We're going to get standing, recorded, everything. We'll have a little prize, too. And,
Man, I think I think the first time I even looked at a dang on PlayStation, probably over a year now, because I bought my boys the PS5. Mm-hmm. I had no choice. Them boys done run me down. Daddy on the PS5. Yeah. I didn't have nothing in my house, dog. Nothing.
Right.
The last PlayStation you had personally.
Great question. Great question.
We can start that air. We talking about air.
Hey, sitting right below the PlayStation emblem too. Don't tell me PlayStation 1.
Bro, 1.
1?
Dolo.
Wait, hold on. No. We getting some information here now. So you mean tell me you didn't even have a PlayStation 2 when we played?
No.
Wow, he did push-ups on
that. That's a natural talent that we just talked about.
My brother had all the game system.
It was around him. He just didn't personally.
I played.
Okay.
Yeah, he played.
Personal.
And I had an Xbox, but
see, we got to treat that as if you had one, because we don't know. Like people like we know.
My brother got the PlayStation, but I owned the Xbox.
But see, you could have been playing it like it was yours.
Y'all cross played back then.
He could have been playing it like it was his.
Yeah.
He had the Xbox. He didn't say he had the Xbox. So that's equivalent of the P2. The eras. So
right.
He had an Xbox.
Right. Oh, you had an Xbox.
So it's even worse that he
was
went to another console and smacked.
Xbox?
That's that stuff.
I don't even know how I got there. I think just because of the black and green. I think that's been the only reason.
My brother was an Xbox. He had the Xbox.
I had the Xbox NFL Fever.
So wait. Before we get back into it, I think this is a good time for you to issue your challenge.
I mean, he said he's not going to take
it. But I kind of put some, resistance towards that. So if there's any time, you should just say
it's an open mic right now.
Leave It on the Sticks.
I'm not.
Episode 1.
Leaving on 6 episode.
Episode 1.
Are you willing to run it back, Dolo?
You got time.
Got time. You ain't got.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't gonna lie. I really don't think that's gonna happen.
Dolo one of them type of dudes
But
that, yeah.
I'll try to.
I know Dolo. Like, you could beat him twice, right? And then you give him a third match, and then
I'm
he beat
competitive,
you.
though. You know that.
Well,
That's the groundwork.
but listen, hold on. He beat you on the third match, and you like naturally, it's like running back. I gave you 2,
He's done.
and you like, nah, I'm done.
No,
You gotta eat that.
No.
You gotta eat that.
Cool, no.
No, it ain't like that.
He's very competitive.
Let me tell you something. I tell you that we play. You play football.
Yeah, I'm
We
about to
play
say,
football.
yeah, he was, yeah.
One thing about me, bro, whatever I'm into, I'm 100% into
You
it,
just ain't
and I'm
into that right
competitive.
now,
I
right?
just,
I
I
feel
really
it.
have to get my mindset.
But that's why I said you got time.
Yeah, but what if I don't apply myself in that time, I don't know if I'm gonna
Right.
do it. So I really gotta. That's what I'm saying. I really can't
Larry,
promise
you
you
might
that
have
I'm gonna
to-
do it, but I gotta apply.
Let me
it.
ask you this.
Yeah.
In the era of when you were winning a lot of games, what was that motivation?
Then
Yes, because you say you
I was
competitive, so you can tap back
I was just involved in football.
Right.
So the,
I was in football at the time. Like everything was around me was
real
football.
life situation.
That was real life in
stepped away
football.
from the real life situation, so therefore the football has lesser meaning. Whether you whoop somebody ass right now today or not, it just
It wouldn't matter. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'll get on the sticks and shit, nigga beat me 100-0, and I'll be like, "You got your win, bro," and then I'm back on to whatever
There's your
I'm
answer.
on.
Yeah, see, and I don't want
it
it.
don't
See,
mean
cause he ain't gonna mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'll be playing just to play, but
That Dolo
I'm gonna
you
be
trying to
competitive.
play,
I'm gonna try to
He
play.
ain't here no more. Like
But
that Dolo, like, he ain't
If
here no more.
if I see it getting away, then it's just like it's getting away.
Right.
This man did push-ups where he picked the ball off. I never forgot that.
So wait, like he caught it and the guy was running it back and then
Yeah.
he was doing push-ups
He was
and
doing
he
push-ups.
scored.
He scored.
I don't think that's why he don't want to play you.
he becomes it's not a persona. He elevates his competitiveness. Anyway,
it was one of them games.
Y'all boy need to stop.
So can I? So in regards to now, what your general nature is, which is like putting that pen and pad. I'm sorry, in the booth. Is it that same type of competitiveness? Like you elevate your bars the same way you would elevate in a video game. Like you take it personal.
Personal.
Yeah.
It'll be personal.
So that's I like that.
He say if he gonna do it, he gonna do it.
No, if I'm gonna do it, then it's gonna be for real. Straight from the soul, bro.
That sounds like a mixtape because it sounds like your ball. Oh yeah.
Somebody
Alright,
said that too.
run
Like
the next song.
I got some feedback that said we gonna have to do like a little
Bar for bar.
not bar for bar,
not
just like a
competitive.
little EP together or something.
Yeah.
Cause we sound so good together, you know.
You just gotta run something by me and tell
I know.
me, you know, what the
It's gonna be that sample.
outlook is, and
It's gonna be that
I
sample.
just need to sit down and sit in the dark.
Yeah, that's my phase right now. I'm learning the sample. It's gonna be that.
Nah, something like that. I think I'll be cool. You sample me, we can sample all day.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I said
I
I'm
like this.
gonna have to
Yeah,
learn it.
I like this.
I can do it.
Once you learn it, I think you give me some sample, bro. I think I can run with that. Because only reason why I say that sample was me thinking about it is like me writing. Like when I'm sitting down, I'm writing some poetry, thinking like whatever outlook I'm looking at, and whatever the beat is to match it. Like if it's soulful, the soul match it.
The sample
The
will tell you what it's. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we
You
just
see
gotta
what I'm
build
saying?
around it.
Whatever the sample is, we put it on wax, and it's like, oh, this is where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Can you explain what soul mean to you? When you use that a lot. So when your soul tap into like a beat or a sample, how does it get going for you? Like how does it develop personally?
This question is for both of y'all because I know.
Yeah.
Well, ask it again.
He spoke upon how it have to have soul to it. Even the beginning of it, like him even about to create something, it got to start with the soul. So when you hearing it, like, what is the balance of like, oh yeah, it starts stirring up, like, oh yeah, this.
But like,
this,
what strikes it off?
Yeah, like it starts that development, like, oh yeah, and then you
want me
go
to
into
go
your
first?
mode.
It's just emotion driven. That's it. That's all. It's just emotion driven.
And it
Like
can come from any sound. Like it's just the right sound.
the right sound.
Yeah.
The right sound.
Yeah.
It'll be all emotion. Just for me, it'll be all emotion driven. Whatever. And I'll use example when I shot you that Anthony Hamilton a couple weeks ago. And you know how I go. I just ain't gonna just. I played that song before I even sent it to him. I think I played that song 20 times back to back.
Pure soul.
It was just there. It was just there, though. Like it was just there. I really hate to do this, but it was just there. And I said, man, let me say this to K.O.J. right quick. I don't know if y'all hear this, but I'm gonna just give a little quick. Let me see if I can brief it right quick. Let me see if I can brief it right quick. Let me see if I can brief it. Just.
And then we talking about soul. It's an Anthony Hamilton song, so.
This one I think it's called singing.
Yeah, definitely.
You get what I'm saying?
So all that soul you listen to, you can't sing?
Hey, Dolo might as well get an acoustic guitar. He talking about soul, boy, created.
Hold on. I'm glad you brought that up.
Come on now.
Talk
Come
to
on.
me.
I've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar.
Hey, look at me.
I
That's my
am-
favorite instrument.
My cousin was
Man,
just here
look,
too.
That's one
between-
thing I always talk about.
The saxophone, the guitar, and the big man, bro.
You your one man band with that right there.
If I can learn how to use some strings, bro. Well, if I can run it to the right person, if I can learn how to, when I learn how to use them
Yeah, that's
strings,
what I say.
You
When
talking
I
about
learn,
going to the right person right now. Keep talking about
I
it.
just want to, I just can see me just sitting,
Me too.
vibing.
Yeah. That's it. Well,
I really want to.
that was
Man.
answer the question though. So you can sing too.
I might get harmonized a little bit. I might get harmonized a little bit. I ain't gonna say I a full blown singer now, but I can depending on the right mix. If you lay down the right way, it'd be right.
You lay in the pocket.
Yeah.
Right.
The right amount of champagne
For you
to get there.
The art of soul for you. What would it be? Like,
The art of soul?
Like the cook up. That's what I call it. Like the cook up. Like you.
I'll tell you how a process go for me, right? I'm very opinionated, right? And pay attention. So I learned like to just keep it to myself throughout my day and just say the shit in here. Like, and it starts with sounds like he was saying, like, I'll be in here messing with sounds, man. And like you hear one sound. Like all songs start for me like with a sound. Like I'll put one sound down and just all the lyrics come.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like all the lyrics come. Like I could literally sit down and you tell me what you're going through. And I'll be like, okay, this is this situation. I've been there before. This is how I got up. This is how I dealt. And then the words just come. You see what I'm saying? So it's sound first for me. And then just channeling whatever's around me.
Now both of y'all see. I really want y'all both to see the art of a gift y'all got.
Oh, they see it.
No, but it's like the way they just described it in two different ways, but it meshed perfectly.
The same thing, just different.
Because it's like you can't.
No, it's the same thing,
fake,
really.
You can't fake the soul.
Same thing.
When you create like that, so it's just beautiful to hear them both on the way they cook up and they call it how they bring the soul together.
But that's it, and the gift in that. The coolest thing about that is like when you really tapping into the soul, like y'all say, or you just keeping it real or whatever. You can do things like put out a song that was recorded 3 years ago because we're not using no slangs that people that come and go. Like it's like stuff that your granddaddy gonna tell you, or like stuff that it's timeless. It's based on good sense, you know. So it's
timeless music.
It's gonna age, you know. For real.
That's all. It's a very classy song. I give you that.
Appreciate
Very
it.
classy.
Appreciate it.
It gives you that pinky.
Yeah.
That pinky.
What is it, pinky up type?
Yeah, that pinky up.
Oh, okay.
That good pinky up.
That's all I tell you.
I like that.
I'll be honest with y'all. You know why I made that song? I was on Instagram heavy back then. And like, I had one person that I have a couple people for this, but this one particular person I would like doing a song a week. And they said something like, man, like, you just gotta get mad on the song or like come hard or like do something like Meek Mill would do. And I'm like, I'm not Meek Mill. You know how Meek be aggressive with that bit. So like, I just really got pissed off. Like, and I was like, what's the way that I can like express my anger? So I start talking shit about the industry and people. That's why I say I'm the type to more to hear, listen if you're trying to tell me something.
Yeah.
Lately, you think your opinion is overriding my effort. So that's where that shit really came from. And there's the Clean Fabric Part 1. Like, that's one of his favorite songs. It'd be a song that I shit was pissing me off. I need to stop crying. Stuff was pissing me off. People was pissing.
We on the verge of practicing.
You can beat that. You get it. Oh.
Say it again, Dolo.
Yeah, we on the verge of practicing good speech. That's
right.
I like that.
Thank you, Dolo.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first Clean Fabric was one of them ones where I was just letting loose.
What song are we talking about right now?
The first Clean Fabric. So the reason why I even call this one Clean Fabric 2 is because I was just letting loose. But it was all inspired by that one particular person. And I'm like, I'm putting out a song a week, like editing videos, and it come with the territory, but you just...
And the beauty of that song is it's a happy-go-lucky song.
It is.
And it's a vibe, but when you really, like... Man,
I think he's talking about the first one.
Yeah, the first thing.
I gotta let you hear it first.
It's like when you hear it, it's a bop. And then, but when you really hear it, every time you hear it,
Fabric 1,
it's like, hold on. What you talking about with this part right here? And it's even like happily cut them off.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like if I love you and you around me in my network, if you listen to my music for real, you probably hear some shit that you be like, I want to nigga talking about me for real. Cause
while vibing
that
to the
real,
song,
like
while you vibing to the song. Wait.
I had a homie call me. I think he kind of picked up on it. He was like, bro, just keep putting it out. Like, even if you talking about me, just put it out. I'm like, okay. But yeah, that's where Clean Fabric started at. And it was different for me. I typically don't really use like pianos and stuff like that. Need to, but it was just different. It just, I had to go with it.
Connected. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, that's his favorite part.
That's my favorite line, bro. Yeah,
when I knew, when he said, consciously I'm running G, but it's time to stand down. The door is right in front of me. I got to take my chance now. That's my favorite.
That's a Dolo ball?
Yeah. Coasting through life without the map. Yeah, I like that one.
That.
Yeah, cool.
You have a favorite part, Dolo, of your own music? Or influential, something that you stated, like, all right, like a food for thought, like.
Man, to be real.
All of them?
Nah.
It's okay to say that.
Was that all?
All it's okay to say
no,
that.
because I it's just probably been a minute since I really even listened to anything of mine. But I real life do have some pieces in there that I reflected on, and it was like, dang, I really said that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know, like, at the time, like, damn, I really said that.
We talked about this today.
We did. We did.
It could be in your poetry as well. Now, I ain't got.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'll share, like I said, but when we end, I'll share. Well, it's man, I think I got smidges of pieces everywhere. Like real talk, I got smidges everywhere. I got them written down on paper in my truck. I got paper in the house. I got paper at my job. Like I'll go and. Man,
anywhere you go,
I got something. I got something. I got some smidges written all over the place.
Right.
So it's never a time where I don't, I got so much of that, I got them everywhere, man.
The beautiful thing about poetry is
I got them everywhere.
It's like you can really have a 2-bar
poem.
Last time I wrote poetry was in 7th grade. I used to write poetry. My teacher used to tell me I'm a great writer. He tells me often, like, you talk like you writing. It's like, I look at y'all and I admire y'all gift. Because it's like, I'm not one to sit here and soak in thought and then try to write it
But
down.
you express it with the barber. That's what I'm saying. Everybody is an artist, you know what I mean? Everybody is an artist. It just so happens that I express mine the way I do. He expresses the way he do. But if we just recognize that, we push each other forward while we doing it,
So when you talk about the song being 3 years, right?
Yes.
And you said that you were shooting at the industry during that time period. Fast forward 3 years now,
Right.
are those feelings still the same?
Oh yeah, that shit ain't changing.
You good, bro? You good?
I got a little sense of things. So,
the fact that you recognize it,
yeah,
you know. So eventually, at some point, it'll just start.
it's gonna click right now. It ain't changing, but I will say this: like, I don't listen to what's going on. I haven't been for a long time. I think I grew up a fan of music, bro. CD book. Like had to have it, organizing them. Like it got don't touch the CD book.
The CD book this big.
I was that kid, you know what I mean? Like I
It
was
used to feel good to flip the
Man,
pages, boy.
man, look, boy, 500, 600 CDs
Trying to
in the
tell
book.
you.
You like, boy, I
used to
got to
categorize
find.
them, man.
right.
I got to find it right
Right.
now.
Troy was Pastor Troy.
What?
All his
True,
discography,
true,
you know.
Hey.
We had the iTunes thing in our portal, you know, we had it, but
Them CDs was sacred not to skip them.
I was also the kid that could burn music early. Like music was on. My mother she would support any artist out there. Like every CD. I was telling y'all earlier, Monica when Sammy then was. I remember having all these. Like we just we listened. But I'd say Gucci, man, that era. Like
That
when
era
Gucci
been
was
hitting.
really coming out.
That been-
Like
Gucci been hitting.
The era of the Sony Ericsson phone.
Yeah. Everybody
the
had
Walkman
so
one,
many,
the
bro.
white,
Yeah.
the white one, that was made for music.
Yeah.
Had that
That was
like.
singular.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Gucci been pumping then. Everybody been pumping Gucci
So
in the
tractor
street.
trailer truck Gucci, it's my
That
party
introduced
Gucci, that
the
Ice
MVP.
Attack.
Yeah.
Bart Simpson.
Bart Simpson.
Yeah, that was like, I don't want to age myself. That was like, high.
We just been talking about
listen,
that.
We just talked
We just
about
been
Okay,
talking about that.
Thank you for pointing it out. Listen, that was junior year going into senior year for me.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That was
And
something.
and listen. Listening to the Gucci and Zay back then, like, didn't really care about what was being said. Long as them 12s was rattling, it was
Talk to
cool.
me.
Beethoven made me understand that instruments is a lot.
Right. And then when I got to college, like freshman year, I think that's when I really like stopped. I changed what I was listening to. So I started listening to lyricists. And then when I started making music, honestly, like it's hard for me to listen to like music like that. Like certain songs find me. Like if Pharrell makes something or somebody I grew up kind of liking, if they make something, I might pay attention to it. I listen to Nipsey Hussle, like Don Kennedy. Like I got my lifestyle lane, cause that's what I'm doing. But I said that to say I really don't know the ins and outs of what's going on.
understood the
So I don't want to just bash it like that. But from where I left off, if it ain't made no 180, then I can, like, and no knock on nobody out there, but some of the things that I hear is like, I can't believe it. And we talked about this with Concept 33. How do we go from like, if we just look at this thing called hip hop, this all is the culture. How do we go from like Public Enemy and UNITY to like,
Fuck these
How do you
bitches.
feel about your influence? Both of
That's what we
y'all.
got.
I wanted to say something else, but we trying to be conscious of what we say now. So it's like, you say, how do we, what'd you say?
The influence, that's basically what we talking about. The different, like how you said.
I'll say this too, about Clean Fabric, I don't even know, I had to listen to it again, but I think that song was, now that I think about it, I'm really talking to my culture around me. Like, you know what I mean? Our mentality, how we do things, how we handle each other. Like what we kind of started off with, like, I'm addressing that because remember, like, the first line of the song is I'm really addressing that person that pissed me off. You know what I mean? So I don't even know if it's about, I got industry songs where I'm talking about the industry.
That part, Dolo touched on it earlier
Yeah.
about home base when he left home and how he experienced life and he experienced OGs and influence in another way when he left home. On that song, you said, how can you be such if you've never crossed state lines? Like, how can you be something
Oh, on
or
the
talk
first
about
one?
something if you've never crossed
Yeah,
state
yeah.
lines of your own home?
Right. And that's just targeting the people who
It's real though.
like say they want to do things and will give you their word, and just find a way not to do it.
So look at my question.
And it was me separating. Let me say this. It was
influence of your music.
It was me separating myself from those people because it went from like, damn, well, you just got to be patient. Like everybody can't move like you. Like you got to give them time. And then when you realize time done turned into 10 years, then it's like, oh no, like even if I got to diss you, I love you, but I got to diss you all throughout this song to separate myself from you.
You gotta get the bars.
You gotta get
to them bars.
And actually, some of my best music come when I'm like talking about people nearest and dearest to me.
God said the passion,
Yeah.
the influence. You see the creativity, like you see the beauty of it.
Right.
Your life really is what you like. You really get to put out your experience through life.
Right.
It's not the same, but you can harmonize in a similar way.
Right.
That's how we got to the piss me off list.
You want to tell them? You, that's the second time you said that, so.
Anybody who's watching this, if you go back and catch the Savannah vlog we did last year, behind the scenes of that vlog was the ride to Savannah.
I bet.
So, riding to Savannah that day, K.O.J.I decided, you know what? You like how you said when you sent him your poem, he said, you know what? I'm gonna let you hear everything I got. We didn't get through the whole thing, because Savannah ain't but so far.
Yeah.
We didn't get through the whole thing. But within that ride became the piss me off list. Songs that he'd had and he'd been sitting on, including the song that y'all two have, that he'd been sitting on for God knows when.
10 plus years.
Well, thank you. 10 plus years.
It's gonna be accurate.
So I said to myself, we're gonna make a piss me off list. These songs right here are songs that you should either be putting out now or you should have put out there. Thus come PMO list. That's what I'm gonna say. We'll call it PMO list.
In a positive way. We're gonna state it there. In a positive way.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just to piss me off, it was the greatness of the music.
Yeah.
And you holding on to greatness, not understanding the power of empowerment.
I definitely appreciate it. Like when you made that list, it was like encouragement for me, you know, because I don't know, I just developed a habit over time of trying to wait for the right time and all of that. And really, it was just about me getting to a point where I felt I was good. Like I didn't grow up with the ambition of wanting to be a rapper or nothing like that. Like I started doing this when I was 19. Like most of the time people be like, well, I was making songs when I was like 9, 10, 11. So, when I first started doing it, it took me like a year and a half to get invited to open up at the Music Farm. And that experience, like it was moving fast. And that experience, I don't know, I took it upon myself to fall back because I felt like it was too many things that I did not know. Like I know that I downloaded all them beats that I was rapping over. I had no rights to nothing. Moreover, like, if one of these songs did blow up, I don't know the first thing about it. I was just learning. I was really learning and having success while doing it. So for whatever reason, I started falling back and owning my skills. That came with a lot of second guessing, doubting, but every time emerging into something different. And I've really just been doing that over and over because, again, it was therapy now. Even if I don't put this out, like it's something I do. And then it just got to the point where it's like piss me off list, and it's like, well, all of this wasn't for nothing, Like I've lost more music than some people will ever create. Like, you know what I mean? Like computers crashing and sitting on stuff and like, yeah, I'm gonna put this out one day. I'm gonna put it, and then something happened. Like I'm on the verge of that happening right now, and that's why I'm like, well, I'm just gonna put everything out, bro. And whatever happened, it happens, It might be somebody to hear something and it really changed their life, and But I know one thing: if I hold on to it, and as an artist, you can't do that. It's like it's like stealing your own water,
You gotta let them out.
Right.
You could be holding back something somebody need to hear.
So we discussed a lot about music.
Yeah.
I see y'all got the Standing in the Paint shirts on. Talk to us about that. Outside of the introduction of when y'all first met. talk to us about Standing in the Paint.
Well, I'm gonna open it up and then let him kind of flow with it. But Standing in the Paint came about on the tail end of us initially making the Clean Fabric song. And, you know, making the song, we just kind of slowly developed a friendship. Like, we played football together and stuff, and you know how that is. Like, you know, we talk to each other when we see each other, kind of, but you always remember, you know, people. You know, so we started talking more and more, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, like, you just told me, like, I gotta talk to you about this idea, this vision I got. And he told me about it. You know, we recognized the void in our culture with the vulnerability of men, I guess, that we were talking about, and how we were trained not to really express ourselves, or we don't know how to do it a lot. We needed to fill that void. And there's things out there and people doing things, but more so for our community. So he kind of introduced it to me and asked him if, you know, if I would be willing to join him on the process of bringing it to life.
Right. All that is correct. The second that, Steve, this for the camera, this is a bright guy, you know what I mean? And being said, you know, there's one thing that I'm not gonna be ashamed of, something that we talked about. I wasn't ashamed to ask this man for his help because I knew where he stood, you know, with him and his own part of Good Soil. That was another eye opener for me.
Right.
And on top of Clean Fabric.
That was that era.
You know, that was you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So being that I already knew of him and what he had going for himself, I already knew he had more experience than me in that category. I was just starting. I knew I had my mindset, but I knew he had the actual movement, you know, and telling him like, bro, you can either show me or, you know, I'll just piggyback, you know, whatever. So to see all that, Standing in the Paint, and my bright idea, I would say, started while I was sitting on my couch with a pen in my hand, and I just started, what you call it back in the day when you was sitting in class, doodling.
Yeah.
I was just doodling because my mind was so filled, like I had a lot to say, I had a lot to write, but I couldn't find, you know, just waiting on the right word to start.
Right.
So I was just doodling, and as I was doodling, you know, I'm speaking. I'm like, man, you know, whatever it is on my mind, I ask that you help me get it off. So as I'm doodling, the more I doodle, the more I start creating. The more I doodle, the more I start creating. And thinking about, as y'all all know, I always put it like this. Especially, it's just, I would say, it's just a little bit more easier, and women know how to come together better than men, and they have each other, they protect each other fully on a lot of levels, more so than men do. And the way how my mind was wrapping around it, I was like, man, like, it got to be some kind of vulnerability, some kind of release for, you know, for us men, for us to be able to come together, and for it not to always be on a raw term or you know, whatever. So I'm doodling, and the more I doodle, the more it start popping out. And I'm thinking, like, for any scenario, that anything that I can think about, that any man that I was involved with, any dudes that I, like, even from childhood, like, anything that going through that time, like, what was you going through at the age of 10 to 13 or 13 to 15? Like young cats really was going through some stuff. Where were we going? Men wasn't in the house always. We had our moms, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know the backstory. So it's like, I'm trying to figure out what. So I'm thinking, like, what are we doing? I said, we always standing. We forever standing 10 toes, right? So, okay. Other than standing 10 toes, what are we doing? So I'm start reading. I pull a book out here and there. I'm doodling. And here I go, it just kind of hit me. It was like, boom. It don't matter what it was, what scenario, what problem, what trial. I just know when I looked at the front door, every day that I walk through the front door, I'm facing something. Every day. And it ain't no promise that I'm gonna make it back to that front door. So I'm standing in the paint through it all. Whatever it is, the minute I walk out that door, I'm standing in the paint through it all. When I go to my job, when I gotta deal with whoever and whatever and how many different personalities, I'm standing through the paint through it all. Mm-hmm. Whoever I'm running to, it can be your family and your household. While I'm dealing with them, I'm standing in the paint. Whatever, and it's death. I ran into, even in our first segment with the other guy, we had a guy said, man, I lost my mom and my dad within 30 days or 60 days or something? Bro, and I'm looking, we talking, and he's here. Like who, and this will really even pushed it, because it was like, bro, who can stand that? Like a lot of people can't stand that. You lost your mama and your father the same year, less than 6 months apart, or whatever the case may be. I might not be exactly right, but who can really stand that?
Right.
Bro, you standing in the paint through it all. Like you went through that process. Through it all. You stood in the paint, bro, and you here. Now I'm talking about, bro, when you see him, and it's like, nigga jazzed up. Like, most people you can see beat them up. Like
you could tell something getting to him.
Damn, bro, man, she brown and wild, but Greg, but to see a man who lost his mama and his daddy,
right,
in the same token, same year, less than 6 months apart, but when you see him, he's standing in the paint. Literally. He's standing in the paint. So all that grew to that. It's nothing that you can bring to this floor that's not gonna involve you standing in the paint. I had to make it fit for every situation. And it stuck. It don't matter what it was. You know what I mean? So that's how it all came through.
Man's a poet.
But that's what let me know that I was gonna support him with whatever he asked me to do, because remember, it started with me trying to pull that artistry out of him, like, hey man, make music, right? But for him to just take that and be like, I don't know about music, but come back to me later and be like, well, in my mind it was almost like, well, I'm with you. It may not be music, but I got this idea. That's all right, bro. Let's do it. You come in with your own ideas. You gotta do something with it. So that's what made me respect it even more and be like, yeah,
So I did my research. May 25th.
I thought he did some research.
I did a little
That's
research,
what you put
man.
it out there for, right?
I did a little research, man. May 25th, man. I something that came across my books. May 25th. What's going on, man? We not talk about that right now.
Quiet?
What's going on? Oh.
And he gave me that look I don't.
Maybe I spoke too soon.
No.
Yeah, he's a journalist now. He gonna do the research for the interview now.
No. Stan, we good? Yeah, no. In between?
Yeah.
Not really?
With the time?
Yeah, I'm running out of batteries.
Okay.
All right.
Well, just answer that one. Can you answer that one question? Yeah, answer that one question.
And I want to make sure I brief on something too.
15 minutes.
All right,
Okay.
let me brief this, and then I want to, if you don't mind, me run a little bit of this little point.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so May 25th is, one of me and my homegirl, we collabing. She got her women's group, and shout out to her and them boy doing their thing too. But she brought it to my attention because she felt like a collab would be good for the culture. So I kind of was like, yeah and no, but then I was like, you know what? Let's just push it. So May 25th, we got a collab. My homegirl Tanner, she got a We Support We Women group, and we standing in the paint, of course, and we're gonna bring it together, and hopefully we can bring something beautiful out of it, and without. I really don't want the extra feelings involved, because I really want it to be pure. but we all know how women can get because they're emotional creatures. Because I told her straight up that the first day we pulled up and stand in the paint and our first say, I tell them boys straight up, if you coming in the door with your feelings, my nigga, you might as well turn around. Because this ain't what we here for.
They was cool though.
And they was cool.
They was cool.
But fronting that, and she's like, no, bro, that's 100. That's what we want.
Yeah,
so
right.
when we come in there, we ain't sugarcoating. If we wrong, we wrong. We right. Whatever. But it's all gonna be on the floor. So, yeah. So, I know we running on some little juice here, man, but just to put it out there for whoever get to run across this, even for us. This is actually really my first time even putting something out here on video wax in front of anybody else's ears. Let's run through it. So, the name of this was called Captured. So, it says, as the wind blows and my eyes listen to the whistle, my mind begins to wonder about love, respect, and potential. How could it be a man like me wanting nothing but the best for himself and his family, feeling trapped in a box, trying to find a way out of there? No doors, no windows, no cracks, no sounds. Time after time, day after day, I pray that he will see us through, constantly working desperately. Hold on. Constantly working desperately, waiting what it would be like when it all comes true. Mind over matter, but money is on my mind. Too much to take in, so I just take it one day at a time. I expect to learn from the best and to give it all of what I have to learn. The motivation that is there keeps the goals drawing near. So I say to myself, don't stop now, you're almost there. I can keep going on, man, but
Let it flow.
I got it on my phone, man, so it's like I gotta move in and out. But that's just some stuff.
You should do like a little intro with that. And you should stop this camera or let them close it out. And then you go over there and angle it some type of way with the last little 6 minutes he got or something. And then spit your poem like at an off angle. So it'll be like, like we started with that and then bam, get right into it. And then this part where we get into, this is when it cuts.
No.
Before you get to that though, where can we find the music?
Oh, I'm just rocking with YouTube right now. Like I done did Instagram, I done did TikTok, everything. Go to the YouTube channel. And from the YouTube, we gonna branch out to Fanbase. If you don't know what Fanbase is, just check it out.
Shout out to YouTube channel.
I think, what is it now?
We put it in the bio, man.
Yeah, we'll put it. I changed the name. I changed the name. But it's really two, because you can find stuff on the K.O.J.I page and we got stuff on the Clean Fabric Collective. Yeah. But I'm sitting there thinking now, like, which one is this going to go on? Is it going to go on mine? Like, that's the type of stuff we got to deal with. But
link in the bio.
All of that. Yeah, for sure.
And also, we going to shout out, we got the Standing in the Paint page also, just on IG right now.
Instagram, yes.
But it's SNTP all 25.
It'll be in the bio.
But it'll be
definitely
on there.
Be in the bio.
So y'all boy hop on in, man.
All links.
All links.
Yeah.
10 toes.
Yeah.
There will be 10 toes in the bio.
Right.
That Dolo doppelganger. Just the 10 toes.
But yeah, man.
Got another one.
Standing in the Pink.
We got another one.
Appreciate y'all, man.
We always flowing.
Appreciate y'all, you know what I mean? Like,
likewise.
We gonna try this again, part 2. Stand on the camera.
We ain't gonna try.
Stand on the camera.
Break Stand, man. Appreciate you, big homies.
Hey, is it appropriate to ask Stan that we got to put yours in the description too?
Yeah,
like,
Stan.
Yeah, most definitely.
Stan's link will be in the bio.
Most definitely.
Shout out to Stan, man. Big shout out.
Most definitely.
Stan's son, Grandmaster. Check him out, Grandmaster.
Even the game.
They say to be a Grandmaster, they say to master something is 10,000 hours. A Grandmaster is when you have 100,000 hours into something. Have y'all heard that? That's what I heard. So I'm saying it fits Grandmaster.
Grandmaster Stan.
Stan slogan, respect.
Because we ain't even. But wait, we got 2 minutes. And we got 2 minutes. We ain't even talk about that. Like we got to give some love to the cameraman. The night that we shot the Clean Fabric video, everything was going wrong, bro. Like the reservation wasn't working right. The lady at the desk told us we could have a cameraman to come through. When he got there, she's like, "Oh, nah, he can't bring that. Like,
Right.
So like the whole plan just went
yeah.
like, if you look at some of them
Yeah.
B-rolls, most of the time, like I was just like this. Cause I was there, but I'm thinking like, boy,
Yeah.
like what, like, so
Everything went south.
I think we walked around and the combination between Dolo and him, cause like I said, I'm just like out of it. They were like, hey, there go a good little spot right there for him to capture it the way he did on the fly and put it together.
Yeah. We figured it out in a short time.
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster Stan.
And that's all I wanted to say on that.
Stand interview coming soon.
Yeah.
Man behind the lens.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, he's seen it all, literally.
Yeah, literally.
Grandmaster. Part 1 coming soon.
Right.
Shout out to Stan Saucony's, man. I ain't seen Saucony's in a minute.
This would be the pivot part where they show
Show this Saucony. Man, get the shot of Saucony's, man. Come on, Stan.
That gonna be the cut, man.
Show them boy the shot of Saucony's, dog.
There you go.
Like,
Yeah. Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Them junk cool. I ain't lying. Hey, he rocking with the pink and the purple.
Yeah, the colorway is
Like-
everything, man. Cause he could have just got some gray ones or
Easy.
something, you know what I mean? And
Easy.
people be like, what are those?
Easy.
If you know, you know, but yeah, he got colorway,
Them
man.
junk dope.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Likewise.
Appreciate y'all, fellas.
More to
Appreciate
come.
y'all.
More to come from everything. More to come from everything.
Yeah, like I said in the first part, it's just the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully, it'll keep going.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna cut it by saying, in the words of Ice Cube, it gets funky when you got a subject and a predicate. And we done.
I love it.